Right, Sunday morning, bit gloomy, bit cool, but at least we're not getting the frosts now, so it is a bit milder. But we had the frosts about a week ago now, so we had about 3 or 4 frosts down to about -3, so a lot of the herbaceous stuff, and we're talking cannas, bananas, lost all their foliage. So what we've done is we've just cut them back, and it's not a big deal for me because I don't mind it being a bit messy, and I do sort of go for the natural gardening approach of just chopping and dropping. So literally just chopping the leaves off and chucking them around the base of the plants. Bananas, I am gonna wrap some bubble wrap around the bananas, just leave the top open so the damp and condensation didn't build up too much. But yeah, when it comes to the cannas, as you can see, there's a sort of pile of leaves back there, which is just a clump of cannas, and I'll show you here again where I'd cut the cannas down to a few inches, and then just with the cut leaves and stems, I just wrap round the stumps, as it were, of the cannas, and leave it to it. That's enough protection to get them through winter. Xanthodecia has collapsed. The gingers have collapsed. But again, natural protection for your plants. Just let the foliage do the work for you and feed the soil for next year. So what we have got, which I've talked about in previous videos, a lot of little cloches we can see everywhere. So basically everywhere you see a cloche is where we've got some colocaceas, mainly Colocasia esculenta or esculenta, which are the ones I sort of just put the cloches over, just one so I know where they are, and two to protect them. Seems to do the job enough to get them through. So we've just let the frosts kill the foliage, and then we just left a few inches of the stem, and yeah, so as soon as spring hits next year, we get a bit of warmth and a bit of sun, you got your mini greenhouse over them and they'll start growing again. So yeah, I do like using that method. One, like I say, because you don't lose or forget where your plants are, and two, it's pretty good protection. Seems to work. So some I have stuffed leaves in, and some I haven't. Obviously, if you've got more tender ones, I'd definitely stuff leaves in. So we have got we've actually got an alocasia in this one, and we've got Colocasia white lava in this one. So we have stuffed them with leaves to give them a bit more insulation. But the straight esculenta, no leaves in that, just a cloche. Right, so obviously, depending on how you garden or how you use your garden throughout the year, winter for me, you know, that's not, you're not going to be sitting out here drinking barbecues and picnics. You're going to be wrapped up warm in the house, so I'm not worried about the garden looking a bit of a mess over winter. But you know, I still walk through the garden daily, so I do like to have some evergreens. So you do get a chance to, like I say, now the herbaceous has died down, we can enjoy some of the evergreens a bit more. And some ones you forget about, like the smaller cuba there, which Normally gets drowned out in the summer, you didn't really see it. And just some of the nice rhododendrons and the fatsias, which you know, take centre stage this time of year. I've got a little Trachycarpus fortunei here. This is one I actually spear pulled last winter. And we can see the little small deformed leaf there that's pushed out, and another one, and now we've got a full spear coming. So yeah, even small, really hardy palms can suffer. Interestingly, there's actually two Trachycarpus here, and let me see if I can get in. So the one that's spear pulled is actually the one with the bigger trunk. The one with the smaller trunk didn't spear pull. So as we can see, nice big leaves on that one. So not necessarily any rhyme or reason to it. They were a double when I brought them. It's very small plants. And yeah, bigger one spear pulled, smaller one didn't. So just the way it goes sometimes. So other than just sort of tidying up the dead foliage, we have removed any of the fleece bags from the big palms. So this one, like I say, is tied up. It's the Buteo odorata, so that's going to be left tied up just for ease of whacking a bag over if we get a frosty night. So a couple of the more tender palms here. Livistona chinensis. It will take a bit of leaf damage, get a bit of brown spotting on it. But yeah, fairly tough, and right underneath the shelter here, looking a bit better. And then we've got the Nico palm, New Zealand shaven brush palm. So this did have a fleece bag over the frosts we had. But obviously I like to take them off when it's a bit milder. I have got fleece wrapped around the trunk at the bottom, and then we've got this sort of fleece strip, which is what you'd wrap trunks up with to protect sort of tender trees or whatever. And so I've wrapped that from the bottom up just to protect the growing point. So that will be left on all winter. It's under a shelter, so it's not going to get wet, so it's not going to sort of get damp and rot off in that sense. So it is kept dry, so that just gives it a little bit of protection. And like I say, on the coldest nights we will get a fleece bag over that as well. So I've done the same with this Livistona chinensis. We've got some of the thicker fleece strip wrapped around the trunks. This is actually a 4 palms here, so we've just wrapped that in between all the trunks, and then got some more fleece bag around the bottom, just so the roots got a little protection as well from the cold. We've got the Schefflera taiwaniana here. This has got a little bit of natural protection from the fuchsia above it. So we can see the fuchsia itself definitely took a hit from the frosts, and the flowers have pretty much died off along with the leaves. But we can see the Schefflera, no damage on that. So this is the Cordyline superstar, which is probably the least hardy of the Cordylines I grow. So we have tied that up, As you can see, just tied the fronds up, and I've got a bit of a pole, just a metal pole or a stake you can use alongside it, so when you put your fleece bag over it on the cool nights, that's not putting all the weight onto the plant itself. That just sort of holds it up. And also you can tie the cord line to the pole just to give it a bit of extra support, and that should be enough to get it through. You're still going to get a bit of leaf damage on that, on the sort of -3 or 4, but that should be enough to get it through. So this is quite a nice scene in a cold UK winter. Obviously we know your waggies, your larger Trachycarpus, your Camerops humilis, and your Cordylines, you know, they're pretty good where I am anyway. In the UK, you've really got to worry about them. So that gives us a nice bit of greenery to enjoy. So your large Cordylines, I mean, they've been there for, I don't know, 14, 15 years. You get the odd head die on them, but in general they bounce back pretty quick. So we've had this head here at the side has only just come up in the last year or two, and a lot of the seeds have been eaten by I see a lot of blackbirds eating the seeds on these, so I might collect the food before they all go, just so we can grow a few next year. But yes, in general, other than them frosty nights, it's been reasonably okay so far this winter. So we will see how things go. We've got the big leaf rhododendron here. So we didn't really know the hardiness of this, other than it, I think it's supposed to be about down at -6. But I have got a bit of fleece there just attached to some wire which I can pull over on a frosty night, but in general I still leave it open because it's under the canopy of the Cordylines. But as far as I can see, the leaves look pretty good on that. No major damage there. So yeah, the sun is trying to push through. The one that I was a little bit concerned about is this. We've got a small Camadoria microspadics there, which are fairly tough. They do take damage over winter. This is, as we can see, underneath the canopy of the Phoenix canariensis, so I'm hoping that'll be enough to get it through if we don't get too bad a winter. So I've not done anything to protect this yet, but if we do get sort of below -4 or 5, and I probably will just put a little fleece bag over that. The Camadoria radicalis, again underneath the canopy of the Phoenix canariensis and all the bamboo. That's looking untouched at the moment. Again, -4/5, and I might consider putting a fleece bag over that. But in general, the plan is to leave that unprotected to see what happens. So the Fatsia, the variegated Fatsia, which has blown my mind this year because it's grown so quick. It's a small potted plant. I put it in spring, and it's over tripled in size. It looked really good. Some nice decent variegation patches on that. Right, so another concern, well, not a concern because it's going to be a bit of a test. I don't know if I can see it from this angle. Are the palms at the back here, so what I call my American palm bed. Can't really see from this side. So we have got, I mean, the main one is the queen palm. That is the mountain form, so it's a bit tougher, and at the moment it's looking unscathed, but we are only just in early doors of December, so we've got a long way to go as yet. But -3 we had, not seen any damage at all on the leaves, so that's good. And we have got a small needle palm there, the Sayonara ribbons, or sword palmetto, it's looking okay. And then we've got a sable mine on the other side, so they should all be good at the temperature we've had so far. But again, still got a long winter to go as yet. Keep meaning to bring this sago palm in because it's potted. Didn't really want to be out the whole winter. It is under the protection there, but that probably won't be enough to keep the foliage looking good. Right, so the oleander there, that was full of flower buds, but I don't think they're going to be any good now since we've had the frosts. Looking like some minor damage on some of the leaves, gone a bit red. But yeah, I think again, if we get forecast anything less than -3, then I probably will put a fleece bag over that as well, just to keep it looking good. So yeah, I've got some of the tender Cordylines here, which are just underneath a glass table I had spare. Rather than putting it away for the winter, I'll let that protect some of the smaller tender Cordylines. Just a little bit of overhead protection. And these Mexican lilies I found are quite tough. This is the variegated type, so probably not as tough as the plain green. But again, no visible damage from -3. And we have got another one over here which is slightly more protected underneath the natural canopy, but I have got a plain green one which has been out for a good few years now. It's gotten to a decent size and, you know, seemed pretty tough. And something that looks like it shouldn't be evergreen, but it is. Very yucca like. Right, so again, not much to report other than just a bit of the tidy up after the damage from the frosts. So the tetrapanics, I haven't removed the leaves, but as we can see they're pretty much done for. We had the first couple of frosts, they sort of bounced back the first couple of days, but you get a couple of repeat frosts and the leaves just give up in the end, so they will come off at some point. Even though they're green, they will brown off over the next week and need to come off. But yeah, it's time for to enjoy the evergreens. This Bootia Aerospacer is going to be moved next year because I'm going to have this as the banana corner, so I'm going to have to take this out because that's in the summer it doesn't get enough sun because of the banana leaves, and I'll probably want to get a smaller banana there as well, so I am going to move that. But yeah, that's something to worry about next year. Right, so that is how the garden is at the moment. Not necessarily pretty, but there are some pretty bits still to enjoy alongside the dead and dying foliage. We've still got the evergreens to enjoy and the palms. And I have got this mess to sort out. So what we've got here is the grapevine, which I let get out of control this year, and it's actually I got some of the plastic trellis netting at the back there, which the grapevine just got too heavy for and started pulling it off the fence. So I'm going to cut that right back next year and try and keep that a bit neater and tidier, because we had grapevine growing through the boot year and it got a bit messy, so I'd like to keep that more in check. But yeah, so sort of winding down now for jobs to do. I mean, other than temporary protection from frost, frost cloths on and off. Other than that, I'm not really going to be doing much more. Like I say, just the banana stems to protect. And I didn't protect these musabajiu last year, and they did go down to the ground. But we have got sort of 4 foot on them, so I'm not so worried about protecting them. But we have got a couple of the more tender types here. So we've got the Sikanensis Bengal Tiger, which I want to keep the height on that. So that's best part of 4 foot of trunk, so I'd like to keep that. And then we've got standard Sikanensis there, which is probably about 3 foot, but it's quite a skinny trunk on that, so I'd like to really keep any height we can on them. Right, so that's what the garden's looking like. Like I say, not necessarily pretty, but any protection there is functional, and we've still got evergreens to enjoy. And we'll finish up on the tree ferns. So I haven't protected any of my tree ferns yet. This is the most exposed one, and at -3 we can see there's no damage on the leaves, other than this is a new leaf that got pushed out literally about a month ago, and that did take, obviously it's still fresh, very different green to the rest of them, so that's a new leaf. So I weren't surprised when that sort of took a bit of damage, but in general the rest of the leaves are all still good. No protection in the centre yet. I'll only do that about -4. Bit of fleece in the top there. Yeah, got a plane going over, so we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.